Launch coasters, in my opinion, are probably the most intense roller coasters you'll find at an amusement park. Launch coasters can be really sudden and it can take your breath away. What I mean is that launch coasters are so surprising that you wouldn't not even like notice that just happened. That's how they're extremely intense. And I love launch coasters and I love intensity. I love launch coasters. So uh in this video I'll be discussing my my top 9 favorite launch coasters that I have ridden. My top 9 favorite launch coasters that I have ridden. So before we head to the top 5, here are 9 roller coasters that just didn't quite make the list. Coming at number 9 is Flight of Fear, my last spot on this list, and I was honestly not a fan of this ride. First of all, it had really poor pacing to the ride. It was just really slow half the time. Second of all, it was jerky. Third of all, it was not completely dark. I was expecting this ride to be a good ride. Fortunately, it was not for me. So, yeah, I was honestly not a really big fan. Launch is intense, but I was just not a fan of it. Number 8 is Possessed at Donny Park. This ride actually was kind of fun. Better than Flight of Fear, but this ride was actually pretty fun because you get to spiral forwards and backwards. And the launch in the station can be intense because I think honestly the most intense the scream. There's a scream in Possessed that makes it really intense. So, and that's kind of like what makes it pretty intense is that scream. But this ride goes forward and backwards, makes it pretty intense. So yeah. So yeah. Number 7 is Wicked Twister at Cedar Point. And what I like about this ride is that it's the same thing as Possessed at Dorney Park, but this ride has a better layout to it than because it twists both ways, while Possessed twists only one way. So I like this one really better. Number 6 is probably going to be a disagreement. This is King Dakar, the world's tallest coaster, taking my number 6. Now, I don't hate this ride at all. I mean, I don't hate any of these rides, but Flight of Fear almost made it to my top 10 worst roller coasters that I've ridden. But King Dakar was actually a really fun ride, but the view of it is amazing. I just think it was just it was a really like rough ride, honestly. And the over-your-shoulder restraints make it really bad on these rides. It has the harder over-your-shoulder restraints. It doesn't have the softer ones like, you'll find like on Intimidator 305 or Fahrenheit or even like Stormer or Maverick. But these ones just have the hard ones. I mean, it was a fun ride. I think it's just like the lap bars just made it really bad with this ride. So we come to our top 5. Number 5 is Backlot Stunt Coaster at Kings Island. Backlot Stunt Coaster at Kings Island. And I've got to say, this is probably my favorite family ride that I have ridden. What a favorite ride. What a good ride. This is a fun family ride. I love the theming. It has flamethrowers and everything. One element is just that launch and that whip. Launch isn't that intense. Flight of Fear's launch is more intense, but that element whips you. That first element just whips you. That really good helix. Number 4 is Phobia Fear Coaster at Lake Compounds. And I liked Phobia when I rode it. This was my first Premier Skyrocket 2 model. And I haven't ridden it since 2017, so it's going to be quite a while since I ridden it. But I love this ride. When I rode it, it was just glossy smooth. It was like no roughness at all. It was butter smooth. And I love the launch. Launch can be intense, cannot be sometimes intense, but yeah. I just love it. And that 0G roll at 150 feet is just crazy. You get crazy hang time. What a fun ride. So we have come to our top 3. Number 3 is Top Thrill Dragster at Cedar Point. This ride, I'd say, is really intense. Even though this ride is shorter or slower than King Dakar, this ride is better. I mean, it looks like King Dakar, but yeah, this ride is way better than King Dakar. First of all, this ride has lap bars, which makes it better. Lap bars make it better on this ride, and I thought it was pretty smooth too. I did find maybe one roughness, but I thought it was pretty smooth. Way smoother than King Ka. Even though King Ka is the tallest, this doesn't mean it's the best. Top Thrill Dragster is better than King Ka in my opinion, just because it's a smoother ride. Even though King Ka is longer because it has that airtime hill, Top Thrill Dragster is better. So we have come to our number 2. Number 2 is Storm Runner at Hershey Park, and what I like about this ride is that even though this ride is a little longer, but it can be short for some launch coasters, this ride is intense. I think this ride is just an amazing ride. I only rated this once, so it's gonna be hard to explain detail about this coaster. But I just gotta say about this ride, it's just an amazing launch coaster. It came into my top 10 of my favorite roller coasters, and I just love this launch coaster. Top hill's amazing, really smooth, and I thought over your shoulder strengths were pretty comfortable. So what's taking my number 1 spot? It's going to be Maverick at Cedar Point. I just love Maverick. Such a fun roller coaster, and I just love this ride. First of all, launch is not intense, but the launch in the tunnel is the best. One of the best elements ever on a roller coaster is the tunnel. Tunnel is amazing on this ride. Such an amazing ride. You have rapid fire turns, which makes it awesome. I love Maverick. Such a fun ride to enjoy. So that is it for my top 9 launch coasters that I have rated. There's some more launch coasters possibly in the next coming years that I'll possibly be riding again. Maybe, hopefully Six Flags New England might get a launch coaster next year. So maybe I might add that coming up really soon if Six Flags New England gets a launch coaster. I really hope, because it's my home park. So yeah, so this is my top 9 favorite launch coasters that I've rated. If you have an opinion, make sure to put it down in the comment section below. Don't forget to follow me on Instagram. And check out more stuff coming out to Coaster Box. Thank you guys for watching, and I'll catch you guys later. Bracket.